So we're asked to write the inverse of the function. And so what does an inverse do? It switches the domain and range. It switches the x and the y. So in a picture, what it does, let's think about y equals x squared. What it does is it reflects over the line y equals x, like this. So square root of x is the inverse of that, y equals x squared. And so you might be thinking like, well, okay, I see part of it is reflected over that line, but what about the other half? That would reflect down like this to give you the sleeping parabola. Well, that would fail the vertical line test. It wouldn't be a function anymore. So when we think about square roots, we think of only the positive square root. So we don't really care about the negative square root, and that's what that would be. So you're probably thinking, okay, well, that's great, but how do I solve the problem? Well, first step is switch x and y. That's step one. So we'll do that. So we have x equals 2y minus 1 squared minus 3. Our next step, step 2, is solve for y. And so that's what we're going to do. So add 3 to both sides, so you get x plus 3 equals quantity 2y minus 1 quantity squared. So you're probably thinking, why don't I FOIL this out? Well, I get why you're thinking that, because that's usually what you do, but you gotta be more careful here. We're trying to solve for y. So in order to get rid of the square root, we can just, or to get rid of the square, we can take square root both sides. So, and we only take the positive square root. We don't care about the negative square root. And that's for the same reasons that we don't take the bottom half of the square root up there. So we get 2y minus 1 is the square root of x plus 3. And so now we need to add 1. And I'm going to finish up here. And I'm actually going to switch sides. And now we divide by 2. Or multiply by half. Let's just divide by 2. And so there's your answer. So you see, it started out as some sort of parabola, and the inverse. So it started out as a parabola, shifted down 3, and right 1, and then a horizontal compression. But this problem was about writing the inverse. So let's try another one. Let's just make one up. So write inverse. And so let's say our function is y equals 3 times x plus 3 plus 4. Okay? And so step 1 is you switch x and y, right? So we have x equals 3 times y plus 3 plus 4. Now I need to solve for y. So you get 1/3, oh shoot, so subtract 4. Divide by 3. Bring it over here. So now we're going to square both sides. And so we get y equals x minus 4, quantity squared, divided by 9, minus 3. I squared the 3. And so that's the answer. I mean, if you wanted to FOIL that out, get a common denominator, you could, but that's a good enough answer. Let's try one more. Let's say we have another example. So we have y equals x plus 3 squared plus 4. So first things first, switch x and y, so you get x equals y plus 3, quantity squared plus 4. Okay, we got to isolate the square thing, which is quantity y plus 3. So subtract 4 both sides. Now we got to take square root both sides. And so you're left with y plus 3 on the right, and then square root x minus 4 here. And so you get y equals square root x minus 4 minus 3. Let's try another one. Say we had y equals 2 times the cube root of 6x plus 7. So first things first, switch x and y. So we get x equals 2 cube root 6y plus 7. So we got to isolate the cube thing, the cube root thing, and then cube it. So take 7 both sides. Okay. Divide by 2 both sides. So now we have x minus 7 divided by 2 equals cube root 6y. So now we cube both sides, so we get x minus 7 over 2 equals 6y. Oh, it's cubed. And then got to divide by 6. So we get y equals 1/6 times x minus 7 over 2 cubed. Now you could clean this up a little bit if you want. Denominator, 2 cubed is 8, times 6 is 48. So maybe you call it 1 over 48 times quantity x minus 7 cubed. So it's really up to you on that last one. Let's do one more. Why not? I got 6 minutes left on this video. Let's do the inverse of a cubic. So let's say we have y equals 3 times the cube root of x plus 4, and why don't we make it under the parentheses x minus 1. So, first things first, switch x and y. and now solve for y. So x minus 4 next thing, divide by 3. Next thing, we got to cube both sides. And then add 1. So you could clean this up a little bit. So cube 3, you get 27. That's a plus. So now if you wanted to, you could, if you get a common denominator, you could multiply that out if you really cared. But I'm happy with how it's written. Do one more? Why not? Let's do one like you had on the review. We got some time to burn on this video. We got about 5 minutes left. So write the inverse. Let's pick a color we haven't used. Green? Let's do green. Let's do that green. So let's say we have a parabola. And let's 1/3 4x plus 2 squared minus 13. Okay, so we did just about every transformation you could here. Well, we did a lot. So anyway, interchange x and y. I'm going against the clock here. I've got 3 minutes. So add 13 both sides. Next thing, we multiply by 3. Both sides. Next thing we do is we take square root, both sides. Which is 4x plus 2 on that side. Gotta fix, this is a y. Wait, no, it's an x. This is supposed to be a y. And so now add 2 and then divide by 4. So you end up with y equals 1/4 square root 3 times x plus 13 minus 2 and parentheses. There's your answer.